So Xiaomi has released its new phone called the Poco F1. So it is basically advertised as a gaming smartphone. But is it really a gaming smartphone is the question. Is this phone the right choice to any gamer? Let's find out. So basically Poco F1 comes with Snapdragon 845. So this is like the flagship feature of Poco F1. So it is supposed to be a OnePlus 6 killer, but in my perspective it is nowhere close to OnePlus 6. First of all, a feel for any gamer's phone is very important. So polycarbonate is just a form of plastic. Though it sounds fancier, it is just a form of plastic. So if you're going to use plastic built on a gamer's phone, it might not affect the gaming performance really, but still, like a gaming phone should be rugged. And the naming too, like we've got the Razer phone and we have got the Asus ROG, and then we have got something called a Poco phone. So a Poco can be a phone when you're offering something in budget price segment with an Android One over it, and then it would sound like an interesting name because it sounds peppy, but it's not rugged. A gaming phone is supposed to be that way. It might not be a big bummer that someone has named their phone the Poco phone, but still the polycarbonate build and the heavy MI skin on top of Android 8.1. Nothing here is a standout feature, I would say. The OnePlus 6 is basically a rugged phone. It might not be marketed as a gaming phone, but the OnePlus 6 is a rugged phone with Snapdragon 845 and like close to stock Android. But the Poco phone is nowhere close to stock Android. It runs on a Poco theme, which is basically designed by MI again. So it runs on top of Android 8.1. Though it has some interesting features like face recognition, which is very much important in 2018, by the way. It does not, it does not bring in something new, something excellent. 6GB 64GB variant, it has a 6GB 128GB variant, and it has a 8GB 256GB variant. So why has the Poco phone become such a sensation if it doesn't have anything great in it? Actually speaking, it does have the Snapdragon 845, which is supposed to be great, but then the amount of bloatware that this phone comes with is basically too annoying. In the first place, something that's really funny with this phone is that this phone is basically sold on Flipkart, but this phone has an Amazon app inside it that it also misses on the Flipkart app, and that is funny. Basically, apps would pay to phone companies, to promote their apps. So there are apps which pay to phone companies in order to, advertise their apps. Make their app an uninstallable app. Their way the app sticks to the phone, and someday or the other day you'd be used to it. You'd be used to the app and you'd start using it. Apps like UC Browser and Amazon are thereby visible in a lot of MI phones actually. So MI, in order to keep its price low, has taken Amazon into its phone's bloatware, taken UC Browser and stuff like that. So a gamer smartphone, the UI should be rugged again. The UI should be strong. The MI UI is very cartoonish on the other hand. It just does not give you a gamer's feel. Now coming to the camera section, it has a 12 megapixel camera and a 5 megapixel camera in the rear. I have no complaints about it, but as far as I went through the camera samples and it seems to be pretty average. It has a 20 megapixel front facing shooter, which is fine again. The polycarbonate build really bugs me. You know how a Asus ROG phone looks? Here's a picture of it. You know how a Razer phone looks? Here's a picture of it again. And this is how the Poco phone looks. Now the Poco phone looks similar to a Lenovo K8 Plus than it looks similar to Asus ROG or Razer phone. It has this liquid cooling technology and all that, but as far as I see it, MI is basically bringing all these features just as a gimmick. For namesake, you have a very good processor, Snapdragon 845. Then they give you a really heavy customized UI on top of Android 8.1, which might get Android P by Q4 of this year. Now the one place where they have done a good job is with the pricing. They've started the 6GB 64GB variant with 21,000, which is really nice. So ideally it can be marketed as the OnePlus 6 killer, but in terms of build quality, in terms of design, it does not get close to the OnePlus 6. It does not just get close enough. So display on the Poco phone is quite impressive. It is a full HD display and it's a 6.18 inch display with amazing viewing angles actually. So that I would give it to MI, but otherwise it has this 4000 milliampere battery with quick charge 3, and the charger is actually bundled in the box, so thumbs up to that. But otherwise, just for the sake of having Snapdragon 845 and the so-called liquid cooling technology, 21,000 can be actually spent on something else. If you want to go for the 8GB and the 256GB variant of the same phone, you'd be paying at 29,000 rupees, which still is not close to the OnePlus 6, but OnePlus 6 is OnePlus 6. OnePlus 6 offers you close to stock Android experience. In my perspective though, Oxygen OS is actually on par, if not better than stock Android. So Poco phone has a Snapdragon 845, it has an infrared emitter, it has an infrared camera. Is it a good buy? If you deliberately, if you have to own a gaming phone and you can't afford anything more than 22,000 bucks, go for it. It might not be the best choice out there, even for gamers. If you're not a gamer, the Poco phone is a complete waste. You could get much better phones with much better build, much better looks, much better displays. So the Poco phone is not for you in case you're not a gamer. But in case you're a gamer and you badly need a gaming phone, consider this. It's not the only option out there. Consider this. Because a gamer might still be requiring a rugged UI. He might be requiring a rugged build. And this phone offers nothing like that. This is just, like anyone looks at this phone from a distance, he'd be like, that's a casual phone. It looks like a budget phone, but it's not. So you'd be paying a premium for something that's not up to that range, in terms of build quality at least. So when I first looked at the pictures of the Poco phone, I was quite disappointed, and I'm disappointed. The notch makes the front look ugly, and the polycarbonate build with the dual camera in this oval shape makes the rear look ugly. Because looking at the competition and the number of phones Xiaomi itself is releasing, I think it might come with a better phone with the same specs, or it might reduce its price sometime in the near future. So there's that on the Poco phone. That's my view on the Poco phone for now. If you like the video, please leave a like below, subscribe to the channel if possible. See you in the next one. This is Aditya from TechLord. Bye bye.